Adam Flagler, if you are watching this,
We love you.
I go back to Baylor.
Let go. Hey, okay, I know I'm here to stay. Just counting on my wins, so I can't play it safe. Play it safe, go kids fast, get you out the way. Go hard, it's the only way to play. Let me say, I'm a trendsetter. I'm a go-getter. I'm a trendsetter.
All right, guys, welcome back to Pawns on the Deck podcast. I am Jackson Hasty.
I'm Caleb Shoemake.
I'm Landon Roop.
I know it's been a while since we've been here, but we're back and ready to get things going for the 2025 year.
Year? I thought you were gonna say season, but
But
I guess,
yeah,
I
yeah,
guess,
I was like, it's
I
not a
guess
season.
year works.
Yeah, year works.
Yeah, it's been a while. I think the last time we were on here, we were talking about how terrible Bauer Sharp was. And
Was that the last episode?
LSU back in November?
Now he's at LSU. I can't really. I'm doing a half one.
If you can't beat them, join them, and they'll probably put you at third string. Honestly, don't
Yeah, I
know
don't know
what
how much he's
I
gonna
honestly
play.
don't. I really just don't think he's gonna play.
he shouldn't.
Like he's gonna go be the best run blocker they have because that's what he was supposed to be here, and then that dude couldn't
Well,
block anything.
Yeah.
And now Jake Roberts is to the NFL, so tight end room's gone. But we're not here to talk about football. That season's long gone, so that's down the drain. But we have some basketball
Yes.
that we can definitely be intriguing about for the University of Oklahoma. So I think as we're recording this is January 17th on Friday. So was it the 16th yesterday? Was Oklahoma versus Texas. Texas was here. I think everyone was very much aware of the snake balloon that was put around the entire arena. It was shown multiple places.
I didn't see it. I watched half of the game, and then I saw we were down so much, so I stopped. And then I was just scrolling through Twitter, and then it was like Barstool, ESPN, like everyone. It was some snake thing going on. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then I looked more into the picture. I'm like, oh my God, that is in the Lloyd Noble Center. And it wrapped all the way around. And I have someone in my class I was talking to, and they're like, yeah, did you see the snake? I was like, yeah. And they're like, half the time we were cheering that the things that we were doing with the snake, we were cheering at that, and people thought we were cheering for the game, but they kept looking back, and we weren't. They said all of them were just facing towards the snake because they were only paying attention to that, not the game.
Yeah, only interesting thing at the game, not much. We had a little bit of a start of a comeback, down by 23 at one point.
Yeah, we were down by 23 going out at half. And I don't know what to tell you, but we picked it up first 9 minutes, which is funny because somebody else played 9 minutes, or they played 11 minutes, but they played 9 minutes. In those 9 minutes, he had a plus minus of about 13 on the court. That would be Dayton Forsyth.
Yes, sir.
He played an exceptional game in that second half, which he was a big contributor. You know, if you look at the stats on the stat sheet for that game, I think he had no points, 2 personal fouls, I think an assist and a rebound, and he missed a shot. But defensively, their leading scorer had, I think, 18 or 19 first half, Jordan Pope for Texas. Dayton Forsyth gets on him for those first 9 minutes. He didn't score a single bucket, maybe a free throw or two. And then soon as after that, I think we cut the lead to 4 or 5 in that little comeback we had. And
Also, Texas at one point in that second half had 14 straight points, all 14 by Pope.
that is
And
true.
then I think that was right before Forsyth got in.
It was after Forsyth.
Forsyth,
Yeah,
sorry.
so Forsyth came out, and then I don't know. I think we put Fears on him, and Fears just got cooked. Yeah. Fears defensively, he's good at finding the ball, steal wise. I think he's one of the top usage guys. He has top 10 in steals in the SEC at least. But I think Dayton Forsyth needs more minutes. He asked to be checked out after the 9 minutes. He asked for a breather, and we have a Dingleberry at head coach, so I guess a breather to him was.
Oh, you
Let's
don't get
see.
to play the rest
Until
of the game.
46 seconds.
Yeah, about 46
when
seconds
the game
left
was
in the game.
basically over.
Yeah, and Forsyth came in, he did something on defense. I think he forced a turnover, and then
But
they took him straight out because, obviously he's a freshman. Tim, if you want to pull up some Dayton Forsyth Dale highlights.
Oh, Lord. Yeah,
This isn't like 2022, so please advise that
this is not
might
what
look,
he looks like.
Yeah.
But he's been hooping pretty much the same ever since.
Dude just wears these he's the most nonchalant hooper on our team probably right now.
Yeah, and he's the whitest one.
Wow, who's screaming? Anyways, Dayton Forsyth from Dale,
why was
Oklahoma.
that you had to bring up? That he was the whitest guy on the court.
He just is.
He can still yam it, so.
Yeah, I'm not saying there's nothing against him.
Yeah, you can stop playing that now. So basically, Dayton Forsyth's a freshman. He'll probably be here all 4 years. I don't see why he would transfer out. He's from Dale, Oklahoma.
I mean, he got an offer here. It's not like he's paying for school. He's got a full ride. So.
Yeah, he got a full ride. And that brings me to another thing. If you want to go ahead and talk about what we talked about earlier today, is
About in the past.
yeah,
9 years ago, we had this guy named Buddy Hield. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. Kind of balling up right now for the Warriors, where he was at the beginning of the season.
at the beginning, yeah.
For them. But I would say overall, this team that we have now is better than that team with Buddy Hield, because Buddy Hield was
At least we've got better talent.
better talent, I would say. Yeah, all around, full team. And I just say that watching that team was so much fun, even though there wasn't that much talent on it besides Buddy Hield. But with good coaching and know how to use the talent you have, you can become a great team and make the Final Four like we did. It sucked, though, because we played the thing Villanova, and they had their best game ever in March Madness history, basically.
Yeah, they
shot
beat
like
us by
66%.
They beat us by 40 after we beat them by 20
Yeah, in the
that
regular
same year.
yeah, that
in the
regular
regular
season.
season, we beat them by 20. So I was going to that game. I was like, I think we got this on lock. We're going to the national championship. We're playing. I think it was.
So,
Who did they play? That's a great. This
North
was
Carolina.
2016.
North Carolina.
Yeah, because it was
where they
the
hit that game
Jenkins
winner?
shot. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
I
watched
feel like
that
we would have a good chance, I think, if we made the national championship. But that's not the point of this. But this team with better talent it's hard to watch, because I feel like some of them have just wasted talent with Moser as the head coach.
Yes.
There's guys that, like Forsyth, he got put in the game, did a great job, and then doesn't play until 46 seconds left in the game. I feel like when people are doing good, they deserve playing time, obviously. It's just not put in at the right time.
I agree with that, but at the same time, you got to look at it. He was basically in there for defense, and so we were getting stops. They were going on a run, but I mean, you can't really get on to Porter for making a change to see if we can get some more offense going, because we were trying to come back from a 23-point deficit.
That is true.
We're trying to fight back.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, points can come off of good defense, turnovers. I'm not saying that it doesn't. But I mean, no offense to Dayton, just since he doesn't have that much action in it, which I mean, he needs to get more in offense. But I feel like in a game like that, having him in there at offense is it's almost like you're running 4-on-5, because when he's been in there on offense, he's usually just either in the corner of the wing, just there for
That's
maybe a
true.
spot up shot.
He was mainly
it's
doing
almost
that.
like they're just having to run screens, or they're just having to go one-on-ones because they can't run a full motion with Dayton in.
Well, so what they were doing this entire game, or especially during the run, that kind of like sparked the offense a little bit. Forsyth was pulling. So what they would do is I don't know if you watched the game at specific. I don't know if we've been doing this all year. I haven't watched much Oklahoma basketball, so I apologize. But they were running a double screen stack at the top with Jeremiah Fears, and it was I think it was Wagyu when he was Wag. Don't know if I'm pronouncing that wrong. If I am,
I don't know.
It's-
Every announcer pronounces it different. So
I hear Wagyu, I hear Wag, I hear Waggy,
Yeah.
but Waggy and more would come up to the top, and they would set a double screen, and then Jeremiah Fears would just either turn it over or we would make something out of it. So it was working, because when they would turn it over, then we would force a turnover back on defense. And that's another thing with Jeremiah Fears is, of course, he has a turnover problem right now. He's freshman.
Who did Forsyth usually go in for? Was it Goodine?
Yeah, it was Goodine and Elvis, I believe,
And
or
so
Duke Miles.
and I feel like that right there, just because Elvis, pretty good ball handler.
Okay,
he
yeah,
can get
Kobe
out.
Elvis.
But he kind of all over the place a little bit. But I mean, with Goodine, we've seen Goodine can shoot. I mean, after that 34-point game that he had with what 9 3-pointers.
I mean,
Yeah,
that
I
game
think he went
that we
insane.
still lost. Where he
That
had
we
a
still
career high.
lost. Like he had still been. I mean, he's shooting the ball well. We know he can shoot the ball, but I mean, like again, no offense to Dayton, just in that type of game, in the talk that we're talking about, and just why we're taking him out. If he got his stops, if he was able to stop that player, and we took him out, and we put Goodine in, so we can get a real shooter who we know can go in and just knock shots down, so we can get the points keep coming down. That's what we wanted, but at the end of the day, as soon as the run kind of stopped and they started scoring again, that same guy, I'm with you, put Forsyth right back in after his break. Because there's no reason to have the guy who was holding him to no points to then immediately when he comes out gets 14 and then you don't put him back in.
Yeah, I think with Forsyth in, we don't have as much offense. So we not might score as many points, but it also, I mean, it helps.
It's the points off turnovers.
Points off turnovers that they would have if Forsyth wasn't in like they did. But if he wasn't in, you don't have those 6-8 points, whatever, and how many Forsyth turnovers he has. And then we have 4 other players on the court for a reason to score. I'm not saying Forsyth can't score either, because I mean he can score too. He's just a freshman, so don't trust him that much with the ball on offense. But
Yeah, but at the same time,
I wouldn't say I don't trust him. I
Just-
wouldn't say
I trust the other 4 guys on the court.
We just have, we just haven't seen much from him on the offensive standpoint to where can we trust him to be the ball handler?
yeah, so far this year, I think the only time he's like had successful offensive playing time is like Central Arkansas. Yeah, I think 14
just whenever
points.
we've been up a little bit and we
Yeah.
throw him in there, just get him.
Which I don't mind because, like you said, he's going to be here for a while. So get him in when you can to develop him because he might be the guy in the next 3 years. You
Yeah,
never
but I
know.
think Forsyth's a pretty good ball handler. So, like, kind of what I was thinking with this, before we go on to that, I think Jalen Moore's playing out of his mind. I mean,
he's trying his best for this team. I mean, he's been
Georgia
an
Tech
OU guy
transfer. Yeah.
for the past 2 years. So
He's been going crazy. He had 29 last night. I think 5 or 6 3-pointers, if I'm stand corrected. Let me check real quick. He was, as the something is going insane. He was 3 for 5, but still for Jalen Moore shooting from the 3-point line, it's kind of like when Isaiah Hartenstein pulls up, but Jalen Moore actually makes them. So yeah, I think Jalen Moore needs to be like more of a focal point in this offense, specifically between him and Fears, as they were kind of doing with those double screens. Like they would double screen, Moore would roll, and I think it was Taylor or again Wagyu. One of them would pop out to the corner, and then, or no, Forsyth would go down to the corner, pulling 2 guys on him for some reason is what I saw, and then he would be wide open left for 3, and Jeremiah Fears I think hit him a couple times, and sometimes it fell. I think it fell once. I'll be honest. But he didn't really do that much because Fears was just using the right side of the floor. And Jalen Moore, because he would just throw it to Jalen Moore inside. Jalen Moore would then dump it off to Taylor, who was driving. So same thing. He would jump it to Wagyu. Wagyu would jump it. I think Wagyu had 4 assists. 3 assists. Or sorry, Taylor had 3 assists. That's who I meant. But I think we have a pretty good team overall. It's just I think the coaching needs to find a way to put a system together. Like I talked to some people about this. I don't know what you guys would think about maybe like in the next 2 years if Fears does stay and doesn't go to the draft, or like sophomore, him and Dane Forsyth running. I think it's the backcourt, right? That's what they call it. But have Forsyth take the ball up and then Fears kind of be like a Buddy Hield kind of guy.
yeah,
What do you think about that?
I could see it, but I don't know why. Like, unless Forsyth really gets down with his ball hit, because his ball handle's good. We've seen it from highlights, of course. Like that highlight was from 21. There's better highlights of him and him dribbling the ball, but I just don't know if Forsyth will ever be a true 1 guard. I just don't think he can. Like, not that he can, I just don't think that as of right now, from what I've seen and from what I know, is him running the point guard. I just feel like
they need to give him reps.
they're going to get, like, and kind of going back with Fears and Moore, I hate how within the first 10 games, we have 2 all-stars on our team, like averaging like 23 a game, dropping crazy.
And Fears
then
as a lottery pick.
As like, I mean, like and like I'm glad that he's still a top 10 lottery pick right now. But no
As
offense,
of right now, yeah.
And as of right now, but I mean, the past 4 games and SEC play that we've played, he's played like.
To be fair, that is
I'm sorry. Like we can bleep that out, whatever it is. But he's been playing like crap, and like, I mean, like he's been going where he can either have like 15 points in the first half and then 2 in the second.
It was
so in wins right now, he's averaging 18 points per game. So in the first 13 games, he was averaging 18 points per game.
When we were 13
like,
and 0.
Yeah, like 50% shooting, 54% shooting, I believe, with like 2 turnovers. And now I think in the losses I saw, he's averaging like 12 points. I think he's averaging 5 turnovers per game in these 4 losses that we've had in SEC play. And his efficiency is shot down to like 30%.
And a big part of that is I believe that's just freshman ways.
Yes.
Like that's no offense to me saying that he was playing like crap.
Yes.
But,
we said that about Arnold, and then he went against Alabama. So we can't.
But it's true. You know what I mean? Like he has not been playing of what we have seen. Like last time we saw him play efficient and good was when we went against, what was the game winner that he got? Who was that again? Was that against Michigan?
Yeah.
That was the last game that I think I watched him where he was like efficient, where he just played a good game.
And I say if he keeps like on this like path of not playing the best, I would say stay another year. And
I think he should stay another year regardless.
Yeah, but like with the potential of Moser not being here next year and other, like, we could see him transfer possibly.
That's true.
I mean,
but
I don't think we're
going to
have most of the guys we have right now. I don't think we're going to have most of them next year, depending on.
I mean, most of them are
coaching.
seniors.
Most of them are seniors. Some of them are. A couple of them might transfer, but especially if Porter Moser. I have a feeling that they're going to be pretty lenient on depending on how this first season goes, since it is first season at SEC. But I mean, if like let's say he doesn't win a single game in SEC play somehow, I feel like there's no way that he's
South
still
Carolina
here.
is the worst team in the SEC. So if we lose to them tomorrow, then that might be a call for concern.
I mean, Texas, they were also 0-3.
Texas has a bunch of 5 stars.
But yeah, they're good, but they were also 0-3, and I mean, I think they were favored in the game still, Texas, but
no, we were favored by 2.5 points.
okay,
Yeah,
well,
we
never
were.
mind then.
But anyways, so do you think like we could potentially like pull ourselves off the ground and go into March Madness possibly?
I think-
is that
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Because we have the talent, and they just got to use it at, like, have the right. I feel like I know it's been 17 games now. It just feels like Moser hasn't found which guys work best on the court in a way.
that is true?
You know, especially when the game gets deep, we get down by a lot or we get up a lot. He just doesn't know who to put on the court at the right time. Like, do we have 5 smalls or two of our bigger guys? I know we only have really one, but that can really get rebounds. But like, just like what to do in the right situation. I'm not much of a basketball guy, so I'm not saying I can do better, of course. But
What I've seen a lot is we don't have, like, whenever it gets to a rough time, at least from I've seen from SEC play, when it gets to a rough time, we need a bucket. We don't have that guy we can just give the ball to.
I think Jalen Moore can be that guy, but
Jalen Moore can
But they
easily
don't let
be
him.
that guy, but they don't let him. When it gets to that point, they just run high ball screens with Fears. That's all they do. And then they let Fears take some turnaround fadeaway jump shot. I get that he's a little taller and lengthier, but I mean, he's shooting that on a 6'6" guy whose arm reach is 7 foot. I mean, like, that's just not. He hits the front of the rim almost every single time and almost bounce down and hit someone in the forehead. I mean,
that'd be you.
that has been me, but we don't need to talk about that.
there's some games where I think Jalen Moore is I forget about him. Like, he's there, but like he doesn't do anything because they don't let him.
Cardio player.
I wouldn't say
29 points
that,
cardio. 29 points cardio.
cardio. But like, I feel like they should let him. Like, I get it. He's not a point guard, but in a way they should let him control the offense. Like how they let Jokic for the Nuggets kind of
Oh yeah,
control the
I
offense.
did mention that. To
I mean,
somebody
within the
yesterday.
first 13 games, they were letting him do that.
Yeah.
But I think as soon as they got the SEC play, they're like,
like-
oh, we need to change
I
everything.
think
Yeah,
Porter
we
like
let
shat
Fears-
because
his
we're not going
pants.
against Central Arkansas anymore. Like, I understand that Texas is not Central Arkansas, But that doesn't mean like, yeah, you have to plan accordingly to that team, but that doesn't mean completely throw out everything you've done in the last 13 games.
Yeah, Fears is good, but I don't think he should be, I don't know, like running the off. I like him having the ball and being the scorer, but like he shouldn't run the offense.
I think we got to settle him in.
That's why I like
That's
having Elvis, or what's the other guy that
Duke
we have?
Miles.
That's why I like having. That's why I
say.
like having them, because that's what you want, like with Forsyth. But I just don't know if Forsyth can get the handle that one of those guys have.
Duke Miles
let him dribble up the ball.
Is like top 10 in every like offensive efficiency stat in the SEC.
Dude is so
he is
shifty.
actually he is probably one of our most underappreciated players on the team right now.
100%.
Duke Miles could actually be really good, but I think he was out this game. I think Kobe Elvis played. I'm not.
Yeah, but Kobe Elvis.
I've
been to one game this year, and like it's different seeing it on TV in person. But in person, I was like, he might be one of the shiftiest players I've seen in person. Because, I mean, he's not the best shooter, but like I feel like him bringing up the ball would be a good thing.
He creates shots not only for himself, but for his other players. Like he is a really good facilitator. He can get to the spots that he wants to get to. And yeah, he could take that pull-up jump shot, but a lot of times he'll go up for the jump shot and then he'll dump it off, or he'll dump it to the corner.
Josh Giddey type of player.
Yeah, Duke Miles.
Comparing him to
2 for 2
Josh
in 19
Giddey
minutes.
is the craziest thing I have ever heard in my life.
Well,
And Josh Giddey's sister plays for Southern Nazarene, I believe, right now.
all right.
You
So on to
stalker.
OU women's basketball.
Crazy.
Everyone knows that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Everybody who's not freaky. Dude, how do you know that?
All right.
Giddey posted on. I was a Josh Giddey believer.
You still are,
and
but-
you still
Yeah.
are. I'm pretty sure you still have Josh Giddey's. You pretty sure you still have him on your thigh. Like you are not letting him go.
No, I have multiple source cards. But leading into the OU women's basketball segment, Hasty, if you want to go over that.
Yeah, we're 15-3, 3-2 in conference play, which is 5th in conference play, which I feel like we're tied 5th for conference play with Alabama. And I feel like it's not bad. Like, the SEC dominates women's basketball, and they have for years, especially South Carolina.
Unless you're UConn.
Well, yeah, besides you, I mean, yes, other teams can be good outside of conference, but like if you look at the rankings, it's mainly SEC teams. And so like being 3-2, 5th in conference play isn't bad. We're still ranked at number 13, and like the games we should win, I feel like we are. And then there's some games that like could go either way, and they're close games. Like it could have gone either way, and we just ended up not winning. And so I feel like this team, I mean, they'll make it to the bracket, and as long as they get hot, they have a really good chance of making it all the way.
I think this is the perfect example, like we were talking about with the OU men's basketball team. Like, they have the talent, and they know what we're doing with it.
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah, for the most part. Ginny has been a great coach. I think she won Big 12 Coach of the Year.
Last year, yeah. She's pretty new, isn't she?
Yeah, I think this is her 3rd year.
Yeah, second.
But first year, she won a Big 12 Coach of the Year, or second year, one of the two. She won Big 12 Newcomer Coach of the Year, and then she won Big 12 Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
But
so
she's
maybe she
been,
can win SEC Coach of the Year. We'll see how the season goes.
Oh, yeah. Well, it might be Dawn Staley, just because it's South Carolina. Dawn Staley, I think, has won it like the past 5 years. So,
Yeah.
Because they've gone like undefeated.
I mean, yeah, what are you supposed to do with that? But, yeah, I don't know. You said good wins against Tennessee and Michigan. Again, losses.
Yeah, both ranked. But those are the only we've played 4 ranked. I think we're 2-2 against ranked teams. The losses were against Duke and Texas.
Texas.
And, yeah.
Yeah. We lost like
close.
2 or
Yeah,
3 or
4
something like
No, we
that.
lost to
Close.
Mississippi State, too.
They weren't ranked though.
Yeah.
Or they're not now at least.
We shouldn't have lost that game.
Yeah, we shouldn't have. But it was still a close game, and every game in the SEC is going to be tough, I feel like.
Oh, yeah,
Women's
100%.
basketball.
I mean, it's always going to be tough in the SEC play.
In any sport.
Literally softball. I mean, like half the teams, if you count
Oh,
Oklahoma and
softball,
Texas,
please. I need a good sport here.
Hey, baseball starts in like 50 days.
it's 1 month, 1 month away.
Yeah, 1 month away.
And yeah, I don't know. You already said that we were playing South Carolina.
Yeah, we're playing South Carolina, number 2 in the country. They have 1 loss, I believe. Yeah, they're 16-1. And I don't know who it is against, but We have an 8.9.
8.4.
Yeah, 8.4% chance to win the game, which is
Solid.
I mean, South Carolina is a good team, but I feel like we're also a good team. You know,
That's true.
we can compete with anybody. I feel like.
Yeah,
As long
but
as-
we need Reagan Beers. Reagan Beers is kind of injured right now.
Yeah.
If anybody does not know who Reagan Beers is, it's Rocky Beers' brother.
She's the hooper.
who is still in the transfer portal, I believe.
Yeah, but
But I don't think
anyways,
he's not
that-
coming here.
Nothing to do with Rocky Beers. Reagan Beers is probably
Just a sick name.
sick name number one, and she's probably gonna be a Naismith, like probably finalist if she.
I think she still is,
This injury, she's in the running for it.
Yeah.
but she shouldn't. I don't think she's gonna be She'll either be a semifinalist or a finalist, as long as this injury that she has is not like too severe.
Yeah, I
it
don't-
didn't seem like
Couldn't
it
really
because
find anything about it either.
she was jumping up and down on the bench after she was injured. So I think she's fine, but they
Yeah.
probably didn't want to risk it because we were playing Missouri. It's Missouri. We won by like 7 without our best player. So, and I think it was at Missouri. So
Yes.
it works out.
She's been averaging 16.5 points per game and 8.8 rebounds, which I feel like is pretty good. You know, I don't know how like that compares with other
Caitlin Clark.
players. Yeah, Caitlin Clark. That's crazy.
I think we need a Caitlin Clark on our men's basketball team.
Something.
Yes.
That's good, Don. Once a year.
Once, literally, like he has 50 points off the bench for Fairview that he
Fairview,
played,
yeah.
Fairfield. I think that's a perfect drop-off point to where we can go to our, I guess our trivia for the podcast. If you'd like to pull up the Sports Connections, Tim. So this is Sports Connections. I don't know if anybody out there has played this or seen this. I know a couple of people do. Shout out Layla. So basically, there's 4 categories of and it's sports related things. So you have to look at the 4 things and like match them up to what would make one category. And there's like easiest to hardest. So like,
I have no idea what I'm looking
Well,
at.
I can already tell you that 2 go together. Biggio and Bagwell.
If you want to click Biggio and Bagwell, Tim,
No, I just don't really know. There's a couple others that I could feel like go with that, but I don't know which ones
it's going to be
exactly.
Bell and Berkman.
I was thinking Berkman and then, yeah, Bell.
So if you want to do that and submit, I think that should be one of our first categories. If not, this is dumb.
'Kay.
Okay. Those were the Killer Bees.
Oh, well, then I knew that, yeah.
Okay.
I did not know
That's
that.
a good thing. Honestly, don't know much else about this. So I see refs. I don't, or is that bees? That's bees. I see bees. There's a brawl.
There's
I guess
bees,
there's I see brawl.
C's. There's C's.
What's B's, C's? I mean, I don't know what I think we should do. There's ones here. There's brawl, spar, battle, and then box. I that might be like boxing
I
terms.
feel like that's too easy, maybe. I don't know.
Well, let's try it out.
Try it out. We have 4 attempts.
Okay,
Okay.
so that's fight.
Fight.
So we have cherries, foxes, hammers, socks, pats,
C's, B's,
C's,
and
B's,
foxes.
B's. This is what's
Or pats.
C's? C's and B's. Like
Grades I get on my classes.
well, geez, man.
Clip it.
Cherries. Don't worry, Ashland's got you. Homework wise,
That's crazy.
Yikes.
Delete. You gotta delete that part. No.
Pats. What
Please
does
don't.
Pats have to do with it? Lady, you have any clue? Like,
Dude, why do you think I know this? Dude, I am absolutely...
Is
I have
Pats
no
like
idea what's going on.
football, like Patriots? You
I don't know
like
what that-
nicknames for NFL teams.
Pats.
Pats, there's nothing else.
Like,
Duh, Pats, hammers, bees, and
what's
C's.
foxes? Isn't that like some kind of?
I feel like so. Bees was Pittsburgh Bees, right? Or am I just making?
The killer, the killer bees, the
Isn't
killer
there an MLB
C's.
team in the past that were the Bees?
NFL team, yeah. It was
NFL.
the Browns, the triple B's, right? Or yeah, it was the killer bees. They called them the killer bees. No, Brown, Bell, and Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah, we already used Bell.
Well, yeah, but maybe it's bees,
Okay.
right? Okay,
Which one?
that's a great question.
Bees, like the BES. BEES.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pats.
No.
Like this is Hammers, C's. You don't have to click. I mean, yeah, sure. Try it. Maybe something comes out of it. Okay, it didn't.
Doesn't it tell us how many we have right? Or how many?
Yeah, we have 3 left. We have 3. So
that's how I was asking.
Socks. I mean, maybe it's like
Red Sox, White Sox, bees,
Red Sox, red cherries, red Pats, red Hammers, Jackhammers. Is there any like hockey teams? What's the Salt Lake City Bees? I know that's like a try bees. Socks.
You've lost us.
Foxes and hammers. 1 away.
I got it.
Okay.
What? What is it?
It's B's, C's, Pats, and Socks.
Like the.
So it's B's, the BS.
Well,
Okay,
let's
so
just do
BS.
this.
Well, just
Yeah,
unclick
yeah.
all of them, you dummy.
He has it right here. Like he has it correct.
I have it
BS.
correct.
CS. No.
Pat-
No.
This is showing Tim's
Pats and
dropout
Socks.
incompetence. And so the last, so click submit. Yes, it should be nicknames for Boston teams. Okay, and then
that makes
everything
sense.
else.
What is the?
Hammers, Foxes, Bees, Cherries.
Premier League teams. Okay,
Oh
see,
yeah,
I
like
knew
I
something.
totally knew that.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's Athletic Connections. If anybody else at home
Took
saw
us
that.
4 minutes.
I mean, this is going to be a short episode. I'm sorry, guys, but we're we don't have much football to talk about anymore.
We also didn't plan accordingly to this
No,
that
yeah,
well, so
don't
we
tell them
didn't.
that.
Well, we're gonna tell
We
them because
planned
we don't have enough.
accordingly.
So that's why we're gonna be reverting from OU sports to some Thunder basketball.
Because
'Cause
OU
why
baseball
not?
doesn't start for another month. I
We
think
still have-
softball doesn't
I guess
start
we
for
I
another
guess we
month.
could have brought up some gymnastics. I wasn't even thinking about that since we are
Oh, yeah.
number one in the country
Gymnastics
to that.
did win earlier this year twice. I think they have 2 wins in 2 meets. So shout out the gymnastics.
I'm pretty sure we're
team.
number one in the country.
We are number one. We're usually always number
Yeah,
one.
we usually start number 1 and usually probably I don't.
Is it? Did
really
you see the
lose.
rankings that it came out? The projected rankings for softball weren't we at like 3?
Yeah, we're like 2 or 3, which is like you've got to be kidding me.
They have
because-
Texas above us. I'm pretty sure.
Have they understood that we haven't lost
Do they
a
not
national
know who Patty
championship?
Gasso is?
Do they not know who the most iconic woman on this campus is? If you can name a more iconic woman on the OU campus that isn't your girlfriend, Hasty, then I will.
Oh, she's gonna watch this.
So back to the Thunder. It was number one in the East versus number one in the West.
Second time this year,
Second time.
Sadly, lost the first one, but
but we
it's regular season, so
and we had someone out. It was Isaiah Hartenstein. I believe it was an elbow injury. So we're still down Chet. So we're still down. We're not only are we down Chet Holmgren, we're down Isaiah Hartenstein.
our 2 big men.
So at least technically in this game, we weren't to no big man. Like
Yeah,
we
we
were
still
at the
had-
very beginning because we still had Jalen Williams.
Jalen Williams, Will,
Jay
and then
Will.
we
not
will
J-Dub.
we'll see another guy in this highlight video that we'll talk about, or I'll talk about because I don't know if you guys know much about him, but if you want to go ahead and roll the
I know a
clip.
little bit.
Yeah.
Jalen Williams, J. Will started at center, and then J-Dub started at power forward.
Well,
That's fine.
Well, there's that.
We
But-
don't have to show that yet.
But in this game, it was pretty close for what'd you say the first like 6 minutes or so, 6-7 minutes. It was just kind of back and forth, and then after that, the Thunder just dominated. I mean, at one point in this game, they were up by 42 points.
the first time I didn't get a chance to watch this. I was out doing stuff, but I looked at it. I think it was some point like right before the first quarter ended, and it was 40-17. And I texted you, "Look at the Thunder score," because I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Because I told Caleb this before the game started. I was like, I don't think we really have that much of a chance with both our big man out, but you never know with this team.
I looked at it, and then I watched Mufasa the Lion King. And then I get out, and I saw we won 134-114. I was like, there is no way that just happened.
What was it? We had like 107 after the third quarter.
Yeah. We would. I mean, of course, we would have won by more. But I mean, in the the fourth quarter. I mean,
All starters went out.
All starters went out. I mean, the only other person that played
pause
a
it
lot
right
was
there.
I think it was Wiggins. I think Aaron Wiggins was the only one that played there with that last group, just so they could have a ball handler.
Yeah. So I want you guys to pay attention to that scrawny white dude in the blue right there.
Looks a lot
there
like
he
him.
is.
Looks a lot like me. I talked about this guy earlier this year in the podcast. Don't remember it's here. But that, I believe, is Brandon or Braden Carlson. Don't know his name. It's one of the
It's
two.
Brandon.
I am
I
just
have it in
like
my
Brandon.
notes.
It's Brandon Carlson. So if you want to play it here, this guy, kind of like Dane Forsythe, but definitely not.
He's
You
in the
just
NBA.
compared a 7-foot lengthy guy to Dayton Forsythe.
He impacted the game, okay? So we're going to come down here. I believe they give the ball to him in the corner eventually. He knocks down 2 threes in the first 5 minutes. This was our backup center for this game. Backup center playing behind Jay Will because obviously we have no other centers.
We signed him for a 10-day contract after, putting him on the waivers?
We've cut him and we've signed him at least 4 or 5 times, right? And so finally he's gotten a couple minutes. This is like his 4th game, but usually he plays like in garbage time, like 1 or 2 minutes. I think he got 13 minutes this game or 10 minutes.
11.
11 minutes, and he made 9 points. Dude, in the first quarter, he had 6.
He
There's
ended
one
with
right
11
here.
points.
Not right here. They throw it to him in the corner. I watched this already, where they give it to him right here, off to the pick and pop. And bang, bang.
Fast release for a center.
Yeah, he's from Utah. He used to play on the Raptors. He is a rookie, I believe, or he's a second-year guy. But he is...
He's a rookie, I'm pretty sure, because I'm pretty sure he was drafted in 24.
He is very underrated, I'd say. I talked very highly on him again earlier in the year when we first signed him. When Chet went down,
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
we get this guy. I think this guy could do something. Maybe not much, but just a little thing where he's impacting the game enough to where.
And then we realized that this team is good enough to not really have that second guy, like big man. But now with Chet and Hartenstein out, we kind of need him to step up, and he did this game.
The one thing that I've always thought about with whenever we get Chet and Hartenstein playing is that we're basically going to have to be, I'm not going to say we're going to have to change what we've been doing because that's not what we're going to be doing, but we're going to have to get a new feel with what we've been doing because now we're going to have to get used to having Chet and Hartenstein both in there because there's no way we're not going to have both of them in there at the same time.
This is kind of off the same thing. I feel like the Thunder, including the Cavs, and I would say also the Celtics. I don't watch that much NBA, but I see, clips and stuff. I feel like those 3 teams, especially the Thunder, have their own playing style compared to any other team in the NBA. Because it's just kind of jack up threes. I guess that's what the Cavs do, but they're just really good at it. But the Thunder have their own way of playing. Like with a bunch of chemistry, of course. Like we've seen that for the past couple of years. They trust everybody.
They trust literally everyone that gets meaningful minutes during the game. I mean, there's not one person on there that I believe that they'd be like, I don't want this person to dribble up the ball. I mean, you see Isaiah Hartenstein will sometimes just grab the ball and just start dribbling down the court.
Oh, he'll go
coast to coast.
Coast
I
to
mean,
coast,
like they trust him enough. I mean, you see his playmaking skills with his assists, so we trust him enough.
I do want to inform you that they are down 18-17 right now to the Mavericks, the Thunder. Shea is out with a wrist injury.
Oh, so that was one of the things I was worried about. Whenever at the end of the game, when they were talking to him, he was wrapped up and he was icing, and he was like, "No, I'll be fine. We'll be good to go." But I didn't know if he was because whenever he fell during that game, the Cavs game, he was the rest of the time when he was playing, he was messing with it. But
Guess who already has 7 points for the Mavericks?
Who?
Guess.
Kyrie Irving.
Who's the only guy that plays like Jesus Christ when he plays against
What's
us?
his name?
PJ Washington.
Yeah, PJ.
No, that's surprising.
He's shot 6 shots and he's made a 3, and it's okay. Anyways,
But the other guy I wanted to bring up was Lou Dort. He had an exceptional night. He had 22 points with 6 threes. But as well, he was able to hold Donovan Mitchell to 3 of 15 shooting. Again,
went
just
crazy.
whereas last time they played, they held him to 3 of 16 shooting against Dort.
yeah, it's like people realize. So Lou Dort also played some point guard tonight. It was actually, or not tonight, but the night before against the Cavs. He actually played some point guard, which was kind of hilarious to me because you have like this, I don't know, 6
He had
foot,
this fullback out there dribbling the
280 pound
basketball.
dude
Yeah.
coming full steam ahead. And he actually did have, like, he had, most of his points came off of the point guard. Like, he had 22 points. don't believe he had 2 assists. He definitely had 2 assists, but the amount of passing leading to assist was probably like 10.
Yeah.
He was drawing people in. It looked like SGA out there. He was shooting pull-up floaters.
He had this one move in like the short corner on the right side where he shifted his guy and then did a pull-up jumper and looked at the bench and like did something to the Cavs bench. And I was sitting there, I was like, no way you just let Lou Dort sauce you up and shoot that. I was like, no offense to Lou Dort, but like, how many times are you gonna see him bust a move out real quick and do a quick little one of those? I mean, all of his 3-pointers were all catch and shoots. I think only one of them was like
a pull up.
One of them was he caught the ball and kind of dribbled twice and then shot the 3-pointer and then they called a timeout. Like that was the only one where he took like a dribble.
That's so true.
Crazy stat line and just weird that I saw earlier today is that he has passed Larry Bird
for all-time 3-pointers. I saw that. That was all over my Twitter for some reason. That's all my Twitter was.
Did you see the graphic?
Yeah, only the graphic. There were so many graphics of him shooting it, and Larry Bird's like,
Larry Bird.
Yeah, I'm like, what is happening?
That's crazy.
Larry Legend is no longer. It's Lou the Legend.
But sucks that Shea's out for this game. But I mean, for this game, Shea for MVP.
Dude,
What was it? He had 40 and 30.
He had 40 in 29 minutes.
First in franchise
29
first
minutes
in franchise
and 41
history.
seconds.
It was the only time, I think him, and then I think it was Clay and Curry are the only people who have done that before.
Really?
Who have gotten that many points in less than 30 minutes.
Yeah, well, Clay is a cheat code catch and shoot, so obviously that's going to happen.
He
But everyone
was.
else was an MVP.
Last thing is probably Chet is gonna. I heard he's getting better.
No, this is not the last thing. I
Okay.
wanted to bring up the best shooter of the night for the Oklahoma City Thunder. I wanted to bring up Adam Flagler. That dude was strapping it.
Baylor
That dude,
legend.
0 for 9 from the 3-point line, or 0 for 8, 0 for 9 in total, but he did have a stat line.
He had a stat
He had
line.
a block.
He played. That was in 7 minutes. He was just jacking up shots.
Why not? That's what I would do if I were him.
In one possession, he shot it 4 times.
Holy crap.
He shot it because I watched the whole thing because I had nothing else to do. He shot it, missed. We got the board, passed it out to him. He shot it again, missed, hit like the front of the rim, got the board. He got it back out, and he decided instead of taking the pull up, he decides to run to the right and do like he like faded away. And I was like, well, that one's definitely not going in. And then the next possession, he goes down, shoots one from the right wing, air balls. I'm like, get him out. Like, I'm sorry. And like I was scrolling through the Real app, just going through like all the live negotiations. And they said, no way this dude's getting playing time. And they're like, just shoot it. And then everyone was saying, please stop shooting.
Yeah, poor dude. I mean, he's. I think he's a 3rd-year vet. Kind of. He's been in the G
Third-year
League.
vet.
He's just been in the G League. He hasn't ever played meaningful minutes for us, but
He just did. It wasn't
played 7 meaningful minutes and shot
7
9.
meaningful I mean, that's almost a shot a minute. And
More than shut him.
Yeah, that's kind of wild. So
he didn't make one. And they were all wide open.
we're making this so bad for him, dude. Adam Flagler, if you are watching this,
We love you.
I go back to Baylor.
Can he get into accounting?
Oh, I guess he did go to Baylor. I think he would get into like some lawsuit. That's what
Okay,
it-
whatever. But as you were saying about Chet, we have some news about him.
There's some news. He's apparently getting better, and he's going to get evaluated in 3 to 5 weeks again to see where that goes. And he should be back. What was it, by All-Star break or a
I
little
think it'll be
All-Star
after
break?
All-Star break. I
Yeah,
think
a
they're
little
playing
after.
it precautious just because
Might as
No
well.
reason to rush
I mean,
him.
they want him to come back
fully healthy.
fully healthy,
Yeah.
where then they can get in that 2 big man game that they want to do with him and Hartenstein. That's just what they want to do.
And what's his name? What's his first name? Mitchell?
Donnie Mitchell.
No. On the Thunder.
AJ Mitchell,
AJ Mitchell, yeah.
toe,
I was close.
turf toe guy.
Yeah, he's out, and then I think he'll be back
The
by
lefty,
the postseason.
that guy?
Yeah, he's pretty solid.
Yeah.
Rookie. I mean,
Yeah.
I love the dude. I love his game. But
Yeah, he'll be nice whenever we
I
get
mean,
the postseason.
When was the last time
Playoff play.
when we drafted someone as of lately that hasn't turned out to be just the steal of a draft? I mean,
Mitch McGarry back in 2014 and
I'm
Josh
t-
Hughes.
all right,
still
okay.
I
back.
said
Okay.
literally the past. You know what? You nerd. You are a nerd.
Sports
Oh,
nerd.
and Perry Jones back in 2011.
Hey,
Oh
Nick.
my gosh. Were you in a team then? I'm just kidding. 2008,
Nick Collison
I know.
was at the OU versus Texas game.
Why? I mean, I guess.
What's
What's Nick Collison doing nowadays? He's probably driving like
I'm pretty sure he's
riding horses on a ranch.
accountant.
he probably owns the ranch because he's rich.
Yeah, I mean, he made a lot of money as the Thunder.
I mean,
guy.
isn't his number retired?
Yeah, I mean,
I mean,
he's got NIL money now.
he's got.
Nick Collison Foundation. Anyways, I think this is a perfect time to wrap it up. So, haven't said this in a while. We have 4 different platforms that we post on. We've got Instagram, we've got YouTube, we've got Spotify, we've got TikTok. It's not getting banned, ladies and gentlemen. Stop freaking out. It's at Pawns on the Duck podcast on any 4 of these platforms. Landon thinks it's getting banned. It is not.
It literally got enforced that it is.
It got upheld.
Yeah, they're
And Trump's gonna just buy it. Yeah.
They said if they sell it.
I just want Mr. Beast to buy it. Honestly, I feel like that would be kind of funny.
If Mr. Beast buys it, I might actually. That'd be actually kind of cool.
I hope
Yeah. I'm
it's
just gonna see Feastables and Lunchly. My whole feed.
Anyways,
Yeah, I'm definitely
at
doing that.
_ Jay Hizzy 2, at Caleb Shoemaker 5, at Landon _ Roop, and at Timothy Finicaro, all on Instagram. I'm pretty sure there's. I mean, maybe you can find it on Snapchat. Bust down my
Please
AP.
don't.
Perfect timing. My name's Caleb Shoemaker,
Jackson Hasty.
Landon Roop.
and that's been the Pawns on the Duck podcast. Welcome back, everybody. We'll see you all tomorrow night.
And a lot more.
Wee wee.
Wee.